Can we take a picture?
Yeah, you can take pictures.
You don't know what this is, do you? Aztec gold. The heathen gods placed upon the gold a terrible curse. 10 years we searched. Every last piece we have found, save for this. Puppet.
They've taken Elizabeth.
Welcome aboard the Black Pearl.
We must save her. Wait, who's that?
Jack Sparrow. He talked about the Black Pearl.
Make a deal with him. He can lead us to it.
You forget your place.
You want a blacksmith?
If you spring me from this cell, I shall take you to the Black Pearl and your body lass.
You're a pirate.
Forgot one very important thing, mate. Captain Jack Sparrow. Not sure I deserve it. You're not facing normal pirates, cruel, demented, vicious pirates, to be certain.
Goodbye.
But cruel, demented, vicious pirates who cannot be killed.
The moonlight shows us for what we really are.
That's interesting. We are cursed, man.
I hardly believe in ghost stories anymore.
You better start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner. You're in one.
Yeah, make yourselves comfortable.
Make yourself comfortable.
Let's hear for these guys.
Thanks for having us, guys. How many Jack Sparrows we got out there? I see one. Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot more.
Just the one. They're all at Disney today. Is yours working?
I hope so.
Yeah, there it is. As we all know, it all began with the ride. You guys are both California-based?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
He's a Brat Pack. I'm Detroit.
Lions.
No, the Raiders. I'm a Raider fan first.
There.
You know anything about sports? No.
Not at all. I'm a comedian, so I don't do anything else.
You better quit that day job.
But you're familiar with the ride, and I'm assuming you are with the California ride. Have you been to this parks ride yet?
I have.
You have?
We
Yeah.
both were. For the cruise.
Yeah, we did a couple Disney cruises. So
Oh, cool.
We would do it for special events, merchandise, like pin trading cruises and stuff. And they'd make pins with us, and then we'd go out with the people on the Disney Wonder or Magic or whatever it was at the time.
When you first heard about it, was there any trepidation about translating a ride to a film as you're going into it? Because I think there was the Haunted Mansion one had come out before.
No, Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh!
That was first?
Yes.
Country Bear Jamboree came out, totally bombed, and then they were like,
And then I was in the other bomb.
we don't, oh, the Haunted Mansion?
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Well, the Haunted Mansion came out after us. And at the same time, the studio, it's actually a benefit for us that the studio believed that was their hit movie. So they didn't, well, the pirate movies, if you remember prior to Pirates of the Caribbean, the last real pirate movie was that Cutthroat Island, the Rennie Harlan, Gina Davis thing. That was an expensive movie and it flopped. So they thought the pirate genre was kind of an untouchable genre. And that's a lot of the reason why they gave the boys on our picture the free rein to go for it, right? I mean, it was an educated bet. They weren't going to spend super much on it. They figured with Johnny they'd recoup, but the fans took it to the stratosphere. I mean, that movie was in the theaters for almost a year. It's unheard of at this day and age. And we were one of the first movies to be on more than one screen in a multiplex. That started around whatever that was in 2003, I guess.
And we still hold the record for day one release of DVDs, sales. We still hold that record. That's just P1.
Well, I mean, you don't realize how much power and the fans really hold. And I think Pirates is a perfect example of that. The studio didn't know what they had. I mean, they famously had called Johnny on the carpet for not understanding what his character was, right? Did you ever read Disney Wars?
No, I didn't.
All right. Well, in Disney Wars, allegedly, the situation was they were worried that they didn't understand the character. They didn't know if he was drunk or gay. They didn't like all the gold teeth. They were afraid of the performance. So they called him in on the carpet to have this meeting with all the Mucky Mucks. Thank you so much. With all the Disney Mucky Mucks. And allegedly the conversation went like this. So we don't understand. I mean, is the character drunk? Is he gay? And that allegedly pissed Johnny off. And he goes, "Darling, don't you know all my characters are gay?" And that's when Bruckheimer steps in. That's what's in the book. And then Bruckheimer steps in and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Johnny, pull a couple of those teeth out. It's too much. And you guys, we hired this actor for a reason. We got to trust him." And because Johnny said, "Fire me," allegedly at the start of it. And now we all know that, I mean, he's just 2 steps ahead of a lot of us. And certainly that performance, what he did in terms of not only becoming the #1 movie star in the world, but of creating a truly iconic character representing the ultimate non-conformist in an ever-conforming world. And that's why we all identify and love that character.
And that's really piratical in a way, to even set yourself apart from the other people that have set themselves apart.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the film ultimately, like, they threw Ted and Terry, who wrote the film. They also wrote Shrek. They wrote Aladdin. I mean, these are Hollywood heavyweights.
National Treasure.
Yeah, the National Treasure series. So when they in the Zorro movies. So when they got the gig, I mean, they knew that, okay, we're going to have one shot at creating this genre. And that's why they threw in all the kitchen sink and pirate references into the one movie. But what they did that was genius, and what I think is what the audience, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they put in those images of the ride. They put in those things that we remember. I was a kid, I grew up in Southern California. I love pirates. I always wanted to be one. And then when it happened, I realized I'm sort of living this childhood dream. But to see Gibbs in the mud with the pigs, to see the dog with the keys, to see these iconic images from the ride, it says to you Disney fans, hey, this is your Pirates of the Caribbean, but we're going to tell you a different version of the story, right? And so that's one of the things I think that was so intelligent and built into the movie, where the treasure room looks like the treasure room on the ride. You hear the music. Barbosa says some of the lines from the ride. So they threw that in there to say to the fans, this is your Pirates. Come along for the journey. It's brilliant writing.
Now, when you guys auditioned, was Johnny already in place? Or was he? Yeah.
He auditioned. He got. I'm not saying lucky. They sought out somebody with talent. I was already working on Haunted Mansion and this thing called Looney Tunes. So it was a stunt guy that told me, "Hey Marty, they're doing this movie called Pirates of the Caribbean. You should go down there and check out with George." So I was like, all right, because I'm a stunt guy too. So I went, I met the stunt coordinator, and then boom, I was originally on his stunts. And then I went and I met Gore. I did all the crazy shit they had all the background guys do, and Gore liked me, and even changed, originally the character's name was Dirk, but I think I don't know if it was because he was yelling at me or what, but they changed it to Marty.
So, I guarantee it was because he was yelling at you. You know, my story is like, the luckiest break I've had in this business was they couldn't find Short, Bald, and Crazy in London. So, well, for real, because you think about it, how often will an American actor get to put on their accent? I mean, ever since Dick Van Dyke screwed it up for us with his character, they still make fun of it over there. I just was in England. The best compliment I ever got was that all the people in England thought I was English. And that was cool, because I knew that was the only way I could get fired from the movie if my dialect didn't match up to all the real Brits. But we had an amazing dialect coach on the movie, and no one else needed to work with him. So I just said, you're my dude for the whole thing, I'll take you. And You know, I had just a good enough accent to get it, and the whole thing of like the old "hello, puppet," that literally came from up there, because that was the first time I read it. That's how I said it in my mind. You know, I knew. I mean, I didn't know how hot Kira was at the time because I didn't know who he was. So that was the easiest acting I've ever done, to be lecherous on Kira Knightley, for sure.
Now, I asked you about your frequently asked questions that you get at the table. There's one that is unanimous.
Well, the number one is really an easy one.
Which is?
What's Johnny Depp like?
What's it like to work with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, let's say hey.
I get both of them, but...
Yeah, I mean, and we can say this, the Johnny, man, he's a class act. There's a rule in the film business that whoever the number one star of your show is, however their behavior is, that will dictate how the rest of us get to act. And Johnny's a classy dude, he's a super pro, and he's fun. I mean, he's just a cool dude, so, I mean, it's hard not to look at him and go, damn, you're good looking too. He's got that profile. He's just got that, I call it the ace face. But that's like an old time movie star. He just looks, the camera loves looking at him.
Did you ever get a question like, so did you get to meet Johnny?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, I filmed the fucking thing and then... I mean, seriously, I know there's somebody out here that probably asked me that earlier. Did you ever get to meet him? No, okay.
Well, it's just that he looks so perfect that he could be CGI.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
What are some other questions that you get?
I mean, you get the one like, what was it like? The general, I mean, people are usually kind of nervous or they're excited they come to your table. My line for that, I have a stock answer. I go, well, man, I lived 2 years in the Caribbean, take a speedboat to work, and then hang with Keira Knightley all day. So what do you think my day was like? It's a pretty lucky job. Listen, we have one of the most shallow existences. I mean, we're in the ego business, right? So when you get you're asking the universe, let me recognize me, I'm so special, give me a great part in a movie. Well, if you get that, just make sure to enjoy it. You know, be thankful for what you have, not what you don't have. You know the easiest way to get an actor to complain?
Give him a job.
Give him a job. So just don't do that, man. That's the secret to the business. The other one is that they pay you for the waiting, and the acting is what you do for free. Yeah. So that's just how your mindset has to be when you go there, right? Our job is to be emotionally vulnerable when they say action, right? That's what the big bucks is for. For an actor that can be saying one thing with his mouth while his eyes say something different, right? And so you have to kind of keep yourself in that state of being ready. You know, especially on a movie like Pirates, a lot of times there's going to be huge stuff going on that you're going to be sitting in your trailer playing online poker and just waiting for it.
You were addicted too.
I wasn't. I used to play a lot of poker.
You guys did motion capture stuff, or was that all done after?
No, I didn't do any motion capture. I've done a lot of motion capture, and next week I'm going to do motion capture for Jurassic World, but the other guys, the ones who did the motion capture, all the crazy monster looking things, they ran around in pajamas, so it was kind of hard to take them seriously. I had no idea what they were going to look like until the first time I saw the film, and I was like, holy, that was amazing.
Yeah, you gotta understand too that like with the first Pirates, that was the first like Oscar nomination for ILM in like 18 years. And the movies kind of changed the way visual effects are done now, because the computers, now everything's shot digitally. Like when we do Once Upon a Time, we have the Zeus system up there that James Cameron invented, where we're on the big green screen stage like the size of this room. And we're able to see right away what the background is rendered. It feeds through the computer. And so actually on the monitors is the fully rendered scene. So you can walk over there and say, oh, that's what that candelabra looks like, or that's what the background's gonna look like, that's where the window's at. Back in those days, when we did the first Pirates, they didn't have that ability. So every kind of digital erasing in the background was super expensive. They had to pick and choose their shots. And the building of the skeletal characters was literally like, we wouldn't wear any makeup, just our costumes, say I'm in the dress and I'm fighting the dudes, right? I'd be in my dress, right? My corset, and I'd fight this guy, and then I would step out, and they would shoot it when he minds the fight, and then he would step out, and they would shoot what's known as a clean play, which is basically a locked off camera, capturing all the light, all the shadowing, and they had this thing they called the dingus, that's what Gore called it. Basically an orb, a metallic orb that'll come in and capture where all the lights are, and they can see it, and then they go back on their computer and they can recreate it, and they would layer it. They would animate us, like Turkey Jerky was my skin, and they talked about it in the first DVD. They would layer it like old animation. By the time the second movie came around in 2005, the computers had advanced so much that they were able to have the guys in mocap suits. In the first movie, everything had to be locked off, lots of smoke, camera couldn't move in the shot, because it would mess and become way more expensive. By the second movie and then the third movie, they had developed it and advanced it, and now it's just kept going exponentially as the computer got more and more powerful. Like I said, they don't even shoot on film anymore. So it's all digital. They can manipulate all the images, and that's a good and a bad of what's going on in the business right now.
This is the only thing I'm going to relate to Once Upon a Time, is that was it a direct pull, the compass that Hook brings in? Was that a nod to?
I mean, honestly, it's so weird because it's apples and oranges to me. I don't think it was, actually. I just think that's a generic pirate thing. You got the funky compass.
The magical compass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they really touched on, it's fascinating now, not to mention once, but that they're letting the Frozen in. That they trust, that the studio is trusting the show with one of their valuable current franchises.
Wait till Donald's in.
Yes!
Or Pete's Dragon. I
Ooh,
can
Yeah, you like Pete's Dragon?
I watch the show every night, trust me.
Yeah,
My
but
wife-
again,
Yes!
that's one of the fun things about that is you never know what those guys are going to come up with on that one, right?
Let's open it up to the questions. I know we got them. Come on down, Step. Don't raise your hand. Just run up to the microphone. First
Don't
come,
be
first serve.
shy. Thank you so much.
Is that a stupid question?
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I've been lucky enough to meet you both at your table. It's a true pleasure.
Thank you, Chelsea.
I have kind of a silly question, but since we're pretty much throughout the entire movie, it's Team Barbossa versus Team Sparrow. I'm wondering which one are you? Are you Team Barbossa or Team Sparrow? Since you were on Captain Jack Sparrow's crew and you were on Barbossa's crew.
Well, I'm actually on both because I'm a true pirate. So, whoever had the better dental plan, comedy night on Jack's boat was better, but the dental plan on Barbossa's was better.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, whichever way it got me back in the movie, that's the way I
Well, no, it's funny because I'll tell you something, my favorite of the three was the second movie, The Dead Man's Chest, because I love being on the good guy side. I like that. It changed forever how people would see that Pintel character. When he's loyal to Jack Sparrow, and that great scene when Jack goes down with the ship, eaten by the Kraken, and we're in the rowboat watching it go down as the sun's setting, and those are magical things. That's when you fell in the water.
There's a story?
Oh man, this dude.
Don't even tell my stories.
You want to tell it?
No, because I'm going to get sick just thinking about it.
Well, he got seasick a lot. That one was actually, we were on these rowboats and we had to climb down off the Pearl and load into the boats. And then we're because Kira stays up there and kisses him, Orlando sees it, and she handcuffs him to the mast. And he's like pirate, and he respects her as he's going to walk away, right? And Marty was having a rope, and he is a stunt man. This dude's badass, right? So he's got the rope, and he's holding the boat with his foot, right? And we're all sitting in there, waiting to load up so we can row out. And all of a sudden, a wave comes, and our little, boat separates from the Pearl. He's just hanging on the rope, the boat's up. Next thing you know, shh, he's in the drink.
That scared the crap out of me, because I'm scared of sharks like nobody's business, and they have a bunch of safety guys out there anyway, professional divers and all stuff, but they were there to get me,
They're there to rescue you.
I feel like there's sharks every 10 inches in me. That's how scared I am of the water. So.
I mean, we encountered a few sharks when we were in the water out there, but they're more scared of you. There's only a couple in the Caribbean that'll really munch a person. So, yeah. The land sharks are much more dangerous apparently.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Sure.
Hi guys, I do want to say that Quintel and Rigetti are actually my favorite characters from Pirates.
I love you.
They're my favorite. Me and my best friend used to portray them all the time.
You owe me some money. If I only had a nickel for every time someone goes, you know, I chase my wife around the room saying, hello, puppet. Like, too much information.
I do have to ask, Mackenzie Crook was your best friend character in the show.
Correct.
Is he a good friend of yours now?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
You know, Mackenzie is a good friend of all of ours. You know, we all became family on those movies. And I just, we just missed seeing him because we were just in England 2 weeks ago. And he's apparently doing his own show for BBC, so he was busy. But he had been in Vancouver doing Almost Human. So I got to hang out with him a lot in the last year, kind of catch up. So.
I named my daughter after him, so. Yeah, Mackenzie.
He's one of our best buds.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
A quick question about the next one.
Right.
What do you hear, what like official kind of anything do you hear as far as making 5? Yeah, 5.
You tell me and we'll both know.
I mean, I'm sort of like, when the check is in my bank account and it's clear, I'll believe it. You know, well, no, I want to believe it's going to happen. I think it should, because the last movie made $1 billion, so they judge it by, like, let's see how well it does. So that one did very, very well. I think some of the backlash on Johnny on the Lone Ranger was the first time they ever took real shots at him. And I think he's just like, screw it, man, it's not worth it to me. I'm going to wait, you know? So he didn't want to tarnish that. I think he was a little burned out. It caused the breakup, actually, of Bruckheimer and Disney, right? So it was a big deal. Although Bruckheimer is still like, if it's a National Treasure or a Pirates, those are the only 2 ones he still has at Disney, right? Otherwise, he's moved over to Paramount. So I think the reaction to the Lone Ranger is more about what's causing the delay on Pirates than anything else. Because it's tough. You make these blockbusters and you're the top movie star in the world for 7-8 years and you can do no wrong. And then, arguably, I kind of like Lone Ranger.
Me too, man.
Right.
Right? I think
it's way better. It's like, what movie we watched? I was in Waterworld, right? No, people call that, I watched that and I go, that's a damn good movie. But that has a story. That movie was outed because the Japanese-owned Universal Studios, and the guy that ran the studios wanted Seagram's money, this Edgar Bronfman, to come in and take over as better bosses. So they kind of, I believe, intentionally leaked bad stories and made the dudes lose face and want to sell the studio. And they kind of like, because I was on the set, like I was there, all the stories I heard were like, that's not even true, and that would be the negative press. You know, a storm sunk a set. No, a piece fell off it, you know, in a wave. You know.
And I think it was critics wanting to not like it because of a string of success.
I mean, no offense, but like critics love that movie Sideways. And Sideways I thought was decent, but is it an Oscar-worthy? No. But it's the fact that Paul Giamatti, who looks like a lot like critics, hooked up with Virginia Madsen. So they're like, oh man, Giamatti scores with Madsen, that maybe my dreams can come true. That's my kind of flick. I mean, is that really a great flick? So the critics have a lot of power, but now the audience has more power. Because Twitter, because of Facebook, because of all these ways that you can influence really what you like. And they're watching and they care. Now the metadata is counted in. Like, Once Upon a Time does really well on Twitter. So that adds in to part of the reason of the success of the show.
Even these cons, I mean, do a lot for, you know, a successful movie or TV show.
That's why they're doing it. The fans make us. You guys make us. Johnny Calls says the fans are the boss. And he probably says it best. But listen, I live at the beach thanks to you. You know what I mean? And
I had to move back to Detroit, that's bullshit.
that's where it's been. So you're supposed to go, I live in Detroit thanks to you.
Baby.
You did that by your own choice, and you love it. And where you live is not Detroit. It's cool. It's Troy. It's like Beverly Hills. Hello. But that's the key thing. Sorry, brother.
No, it's all good. Alice.
Hi, my name is Johnette, and I was wondering, on the set of Pirates of the Caribbean, the third one, did Keith Richards and Johnny Depp ever jam out on the set at all?
Keith did.
Well, he would, but and other than most of the times it was like, okay, we're on a break or whatever. Maybe Johnny would pick up a thing, and the two of them would just, you know.
They made this really dope guitar for Keith. You remember that one with the turtle shell back? Yeah. This amazing guitar player built this guitar for him. And I gotta tell you something, it was a real honor to meet Keith Richards because he's cool. And obviously that's why Johnny based the character, because Johnny said like, well, pirates were the rock star of the day, is how he used it as an analogy. And then who's the most pirate rock star I know? It's Keith. But there were some good Keith Richards stories, because he was just wide-eyed and into the whole amazingness of how much we work, blown away by how hard we work. He had a great attitude, and he was super funny, you know, and he did pick up the guitar, and it was like, you know, that's like somebody, you know, he's like a master. It's beyond his mastery. It's just amazing. You think he's an older dude or whatever, and as soon as he touched that thing, it's like the gods are in his hands.
Remember when he leaked that picture of me, him, and Johnny? That was bad.
Oh, him, they did. But he had some funny stories. He was like, dude, he like had this big old hat, and they were over the book of the code, and the hat was kind of blocking Johnny's face, and Gore's like, hey, Keith, can you move your hat? He goes, it's not my fucking hat, it's your fucking hat. And then another time he had to like make an entrance and like walk, and they're like, he'd be like, ooh, like that. And they're like, Keith, can you walk in a straight line to your mark? And they go, you hired the wrong fucking guy. And then like, after he said that, they were like, all right, cool, man, whatever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Becky from Missouri. Do you have any personal and professional role models?
Well, my favorite actor of all time, besides Johnny, but really is Jimmy Cagney, Jimmy Stewart, the old ones, Mickey Rooney back in the day. So, I mean, if you ever get me pulled over on the road, I've got my old classics in the DVD player on my GPS thing, and so people are probably like, what the hell is he watching a black and white movie for? But I'm like, to me, that's when acting was like, at its purest, you know, so I like
I mean, for me, it's hard for me to really like idolize another actor, because then I'm, you know, I see myself like I can do that, so I don't have that, and I also don't think like, at the end of the day, I like to say, man, the garbage man's more important than the movie star, because actors don't like to pick shit up. So, I think we get a lot of credit. I met Laurence Olivier when I was a young guy. I was in college with his son, Richard, who's one of my best friends from college. And we got to perform for Laurence Olivier, and there I am meeting like this legend of this business, okay? And I'm at lunch, and I'm like, such a pleasure to meet you, sir, Laurence, sir, Bob. He's like, call me Larry. I'm like, well, come again, sir, Laurence? Love. Call me Larry. You know what I'm saying? It demysticized it. This is Sir Laurence Olivier saying, call me Larry. I mean, we're just actors, man. We put our pants on the same way. He was the most regular dude you ever met. I once sat around with him and taught him how to use a Casio watch with all the buttons. He was really into lap times, and it's like walking around his office doing lap times or something. But it took it out of me. So for me, I respect you when you're cool and you're normal and you treat people like. But the real heroes for me are teachers and firemen and nurses and first responders. I mean, the heavy lifters, moms, stay-at-home moms and dads. Toughest job in America, being a parent, you know, and doing the best you can with your family. So, yeah, we get a lot of the lion's share of the credit, but we're the storytellers for after these hardworking people need to re-up. That's how I see it. So I definitely watch other actors. Javier Bardem, I love him. Obviously Jeffrey Rush. On my show now, Bobby Carlyle. I learn a lot from these dudes and watch the way they work, but I respect them. And the bottom line is I'm a badass too. And I get hungry, so I get more jealous than I do of anything else with opportunity, because I want it so bad still, even after 30 years, you know.
Thank you.
Well, I'm from Detroit, I don't need to have that, so. We're just really bad.
That's sassitude.
That's right.
Thanks, Becky.
Oh no, the twins are in here. No free pictures, you little bitches. Jesus.
Hi guys, I'm Katie. I just have a question for you about, you guys filmed all over in the Pirates movies. What was your favorite location to shoot and what was the worst one?
Dude, we golfed so much in the Bahamas.
A lot of golf.
But, I don't know, I'd have to say St. Vincent.
Really?
The original.
My favorite would have been probably when I stayed at the Four Seasons Exuma. It was just so nice, you know. But and the island of Dominica was really cool too, you know. But every location was interesting. The worst one I'm going to say for you is the Gorge. No?
Oh, I love the Gorge. I mean, it was not good because Kevin was pissing in the water, but you know, I love the Gorge. I didn't care for. There was. I'm a very American kind of guy, and there has to be some kind of Americanism somewhere. And they didn't have it at all, at least in my.
Oh my God! I'm in a foreign country. They don't have enough American food.
So much Rasta and everything else, you know, before tears your, out. And plus, they were going through a big political thing there. And
it was rad. I got in the political thing, man. They had a big election in this Dominica, and the island is like. It's 280 square miles, right? It's between Guadeloupe and Martinique. They have 365 rivers on the island. They have one. They go. We have one for every day of the week, Mom. And it's one of the most magical places. It's an ecotourism island, which means they don't have like really any infrastructure, no great hotels. So we stayed in a village that was like 45 to 2 hours away from where everyone else stayed. But you're just in this town. It's the end. The sun goes down. The bats come out. I mean, it's a life experience. That's the whole thing about this business, Katie. It's like the real joy is in the life. You hope the movies are good, but you're really clocking the life experience. Being on a black sand beach, or being on a beach that only appears once every 2 months. That white sand beach where the end of the kind of where the wheel ends up rolling, and we're on this beach. All so white because it's all coral that's been like formed. So each grain of sand is a perfect pearl miniature. And the island goes away. For 2 months of the year you can go out there, you can walk for 10 miles straight out into the Caribbean. And the water never goes above your thighs, right? That's why the pirates were there, right? They had shallow drafts on their boats. So they would attack the galleons, the Spanish Main, running the gold back home, usually from Cuba, and they would race into the shallows of the Bahamas. These were smart dudes that were pirates, right? They knew that the certain islands had limestone deposits, so they'd always have fresh water there. So they built their boats so they could attack and race away. And so to be in these locations, all of them were just amazing, right?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Hi, I just appreciate so much what you said about the teaching, because that's what I'm going for. I have one more.
Hell yeah.
My wife's a teacher. Teachers are best.
I'll tell you something, teachers inspired me to do what I do, to live my dream, to read, you know, to use my mind for mostly good.
But my question is, during filming, I've heard a lot of actors and actresses say how they stay in character even when they stay cut. Have you noticed that in your movie? Because it looks so much fun. I don't know what you guys do all day long.
No.
You guys are straight at it.
Well, I mean, there's moments to do that. Acting is a whatever works business. But if you're a method actor, which is what you're talking about with the getting into it and the sensory thing, as long as your process doesn't mess up everyone else's process, right? On Pirates, you had a lot of actors that jumped in and out. So you'd have Jeffrey Rush or Johnny or Kevin McNally in the middle of a joke. The joke would be like blah, blah, blah. They're already rolling, they're speeding. They're just about to say set and then action. They stop. They jump in the scene plays, the explosions go, whatever happens, it's cut, and they're right back into the joke. And I can't tell you how many times, Jeffrey Rush in the first movie, there's that scene when we bring Elizabeth onto the Black Pearl. The damn monkey has to come in, and they were playing it in a oneer. The monkey has to jump down, look over here, be on his shoulder, go snag the gold, and then scamper off. And Barbosa has a monologue. Well, the monkey kept screwing up. No, I mean to the point of take 31, take 32. Jeffrey Rush is an Oscar winner, okay? Eventually, they have, the monkey's on his shoulder. His trainer was this cutie named Ursula, remember Ursula? And Ursula, at the end, I mean, thank God she was cute, because she's sitting under the camera with a squirt gun. having to nail the monkey in the face when he doesn't look in the right direction, and she nailed Rush a couple times. You know? The wind blew or whatever. He never lost his cool. He never got mad, he stayed, and the performance was consistently magnificent. And at the end of the day, I go and we're getting cleaned up in makeup, and I'm like, Jeffrey, like, that was cool. You know, how'd you keep your concentration? He goes, because if I didn't, we would have been there all day. So, those are the lessons you learn from those guys about how to keep your concentration, how to stay cool, not lose it, you know? I mean, God, I respect Christian Bale immensely. I think he's one of the most talented actors we've ever produced, right? But that video of him yelling at the dude for being in his eye line is outrageous, right? If he could have just, the dude in his eye line's a total bummer because you know, your eye goes to what's closest. So if you're trying to look to the back of the room and someone comes in front of it, it makes it's a ruined take. But he could have handled it a little cooler, you know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here. Question about, you mentioned you had a dialogue coach. Can you tell us a little bit more about a dialect coach?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me a little bit more about
Well, dialect is a simple thing. I mean, it's maybe not simple to execute, but simple to understand. Depending on where you are, taken from a standard regional accent, there are substitutions and changes with the consonants and changes in the diphthongs, the way the vowels work together. So basically, you will, depending on the dialect, for me it was kind of a London sound we were doing, or more like known as a Cockney sound. And there's certain substitutions, so I would get a list of words that I would practice. Words like right, which becomes right. It's an O-I. So what you do is you learn the substitution and then you rewrite your script phonetically. So if I had to say something like right, I would write R-O-I-T, and that's the word I would remember. I'm not doing an accent, I'm just saying the word, the phonetic word.
And you went through the entire script?
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, that's the way.
R-I-O-T, wouldn't that be riot?
R-O.
Oh, I did.
And like the word like with the Cockney is like.
Right.
And if you think about it and slow it down, it doesn't sound as good, but if you throw it all together, right? So it's a very scientific, technical approach to doing it, and then it's repetition. Prior to Pirates, I'd heard this thing that Anthony Hopkins had said about acting, and he had said that he would do his lines like 200 times aloud in his hotel room before he would ever go on the set. 200 is a lot. You know, so I said, listen, if I can do 20 or 25, it'll help me as an actor. And it's true, because even right now, see, I hear my voice in the echo, and it takes me out as I'm hearing myself, and what does it sound like? You just can't help but think that. It makes the eyes move. So when you see Tony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter going, he'd done it so many freaking times in his room that he was able to play. Able to come into that space and take it over and control it, because if you're thinking about the words, man, you're screwed. Okay? I know this, I never got one job because I got all the lines right. It's what you say isn't as important as how you say it. So you memorize your intention, you memorize the words aren't as important as how you're saying the line. And so that's what you're focused on. Like what's behind it. That's why as actors we give our lines action verbs. So I'm not just saying a line, I'm inquiring, I'm probing. There's an action that's intended on it. And it gives you somewhere to drive it. And that's the same way as dialogue, man. It's just nothing but work, and repetition. You know, that's what does it. Good.
See, you can learn a lot just from watching Lee. I mean, honestly, when I said Cagney and all those guys, I would put Lee and Jeffrey Rush right up there too, because you just stop and watch to me, he's a real actor.
Thanks, Marty.
I'm just somebody who
I've been doing cons for 12 years, and he said something nice once. Love you, buddy.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I was just wondering what your craziest fan encounters have been.
I mean, I don't even know if we can tell you. I have to shoot you.
What?
I don't know, wherever, dude. You've had some crazy ones. He was on the Howard Stern show, so don't get in with Marty.
Yeah, nothing about it.
You know what the thing is, the fans really, I mean, there's some kooky, delicious ones, but as long as you don't take it too seriously. I mean, listen, mistaking my kindness for weakness would be a big mistake for any of you. And in the same way, I respect you as well. So most of my fans are enthusiastic. I mean, someone crying at my table or someone shaking, I mean, that's, come give me a hug, you know. Crazy is just like somebody else's normal. So, right? But I mean, it can be a little bit much. I mean, now with the internet and the fact that they have access to you, you know.
Like these twins.
What makes you think we're such trouble? Well, how did we get this reputation?
I caught him in the bathroom with the camera underneath the stall.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm like, dude.
Whoa, that wasn't...
Was it your stall?
Yeah, but then when you look at this way, the other brother's on the other side. From above.
Well, if you didn't have to keep jumping up to
Well,
sit.
you guys should be banned.
I got a question for you, but I'll wait.
Yeah. Well, you're in line,
Let's
so
wrap this up before he's done.
that's how that works.
It's a short question.
Would you like See why they're single?
Because they're always together.
I was talking to my family earlier, I'm like, how the fuck would either one of those guys get some, with, you know, having a beer on each other? I mean, seriously, how does like one woman walk up and go, oh yeah, I got it.
There's something for everybody, and in their case, there's twice as much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny is you just assured your bathroom footage is going viral.
Thank you, Ray. Yeah.
Hi. Okay, so this doesn't have to do with Pirates of the Caribbean because Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite ride. Disneyland, Disney World. So between the two of you, which one would get the red one?
Wait, what?
The
redhead.
Oh, no, I have that one.
I'm totally down with the redhead.
Oh my God, she's got legs like you. Oh.
Which one would get it?
Which one would get it? Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Me.
I don't know.
I mean, Marty's...
I'm into the blonde.
Listen, we're both sexy. We're dangerously sexy. I think it probably, in the modern world, it'd probably be up to the redhead. You know, it's the way it usually works.
We like the short guys.
Thank you.
Well, while we're on the topic of the ride again, I asked you if you'd do me a favor here, and I got something for you to read, or more or less sing for everybody.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Watch out, they're gonna follow you.
Here now.
I got this, and we can do it sing-along style if you like.
Oh, I can't even read, so.
At your leisure, gentlemen.
Oh, wait, we're doing a cappella?
Oh, we got no keyboards. We can give you a.
Too high.
They're up there so they can sing with us.
You guys know this song. It's pretty easy. It starts with yo-ho. Are you ready? Can you read, Marty?
Oh, shit.
Well, the weird thing is no one knows the words to the song. Does anyone know the words to the song?
Make them up.
All right, well then join us.
You're in the land of Disney.
I know, but I still don't believe it. Like, I mean, we're able to do names or whatever it says. Well, there you go. See, I don't know. All right, so here we go, everyone. Please join in. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me. We pillage, we plunder, rifle and loot, drink up the hearts, yo-ho. Whatever it says, it doesn't matter, it made us super rich. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
Whatever it says, it doesn't matter, it made me super rich, is that what you said?
That is what I said. You know what though, it's like one of those things where it's still my dream to make it onto the ride.
We are going to be in the ride in Singapore.
We are?
Yeah. They're putting, that's what Adam told me. Our friend Adam's, he's a big time,
He's a toy designer. He designed all the action figures.
well, he just moved over to Singapore and one of the things he said is.
I thought it was Shanghai. Is that the biggest?
Is it the, you're going into Shanghai, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, exclusive!
I mean, I don't have that confirmed, but he has a good inside source. But like I said, our friend Adam, he was doing character, he would do the development of the toys, and he was he was into pirates. So he did that first, remember that big giant Jack Sparrow, the very first one that came out that was like, I don't know, how long, 20
That I have signed.
36 inch. He designed that one. He did the series 1, series 2, the pirate stuff, and he's an amazing artist. And that's one thing I love about Disney, and those Imagineers, and the way they work, and those 3D pads, and way ahead of the curve. And I mean, that would be a neat job if you could actually be an Imagineer for Disney. Those dudes are cool. You know, and that's one of the things too, is like being a Disney. I met Exitencio. I've met some of the legends, you know, speaking of the song. And I would have screwed it up for X too. I'd be like, dude, really? You know?
I got to see him singing.
Did you?
One time, that was pretty cool.
But all those legends, man. And the fact that they even got their respect from the company. I mean, Dick Cook started driving a monorail. So that's one thing I appreciate about, I mean, the cast members at Disney, they make everyone's experience really cool. For real. That's why, I mean, you really do it, and no matter what, it's in the policy about, I love watching the faces of the kids. I love seeing the faces of the grumpy old man having a good time. And, you know, that 8 to 80 thing is really true. And I mean, there's a lot to be said about the legacy of Walt and really what he's kind of given the world. And you know, no matter what about the corporation, then it all turns into a corporate and you're answering to shareholders. I mean, the basic principles of the happiest place on earth, man, I am down with that. That's a positive message. And you know, I love going. I'm going to Disneyland on my kid's birthday, I think, and he wants to go. So I'm like, dude, let's roll. So I'll be there, and I won't have a plaid, and I'll get mobbed, and I'll be getting a fast pass, or I'll be waiting in line, because I mean, unless you're doing something for them.
We go to the back of the line.
Not when I'm by myself.
You don't? No, dude. Okay. Well.
I mean, if I want to go and get the guide, but I mean, it's like I don't need the guide. I mean, I don't mind my fans; they don't scare me.
Going right to the back of the line and getting right on.
That is the best, though. But then you know what it is? It's like it's a big deal, and you almost stand out more. So.
Yeah, but you get to ride everything 10 times more. Because you have to go with the back.
I'll be honest, my kid's 7. I'm like done in like 3 hours. I'm like ready to boogie, you know, anyway. So you get there early. He loves Indiana Jones. He's just became tall enough to ride that bad boy. So we do the Indy, my Jungle Cruise it, Pirates, Haunted, you know, maybe Thunder Mountain's back open and hasn't like anyone's been thrown off lately. And then it's hot enough for Splash Mountain, whatever. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle. I just want to ask you, we're talking about the monkey on set.
Yeah.
But I also want to know about Cotton's bird.
Bird sucks. Well, I mean, I like birds, but I mean, luckily I didn't have to deal with it, but Bailey was deaf from that thing.
Yeah.
He literally went deaf because that thing kept screeching in his ear.
It would screech when it wasn't supposed to, and wouldn't screech when we wanted to screech. So that's why they have, what, 3 birds or 2 birds?
Yeah, I don't remember, but those, you know what, animals and kids, man, W.C. Fields had it right, because I remember one time we needed to get off this island so bad, because the plane was full of booze, but we couldn't get a drink until we took off. We were on the charter, and the monkey was caught up in customs. We were all like, ditch the monkey, man. We waited 3 hours for the monkey. And that almost caused a mutiny on the plane because people were ready to roll off. We went on one of the islands where we had no other activities. We were about to go to Bahamas where there were casinos and bars and restaurants. And dude, we were like pirates. The crew was like desperate. They just wanted to get into their tequila and their rum and get loaded and forget about all the work they'd done, you know? Cheers.
And here's our last question. Make it all right. Yes, thanks everybody. Thank you so much.
It was great seeing you guys.
No, this one's for you. It's about the internet movie you did, Little Dead, with Bill Moseley and Jen Follett. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Little Dead. Can you tell us a little bit about how long it took?
Well, to get in that costume, it took me, well, the head was all, you know, what do they call it? Puppeteer or like mechanical.
How was it a costume?
Yeah, it was totally different guys.
But it was like a 20-minute internet show.
Yeah, it was small. I mean, it was basically what they call it as a teaser or something you bring to a studio and be like, hey, we'd love to make a movie, because the whole thing with that movie is where I become the creature that I am is supposedly way back in the day, there's a train, cruising around and, like a circus train, and somehow a couple of cars fall off the track, and one of them has a bunch of people on it, and all of a sudden, like 60 years later, here comes, two guys are fishing out there and they hook something, and then all of a sudden I come up and I, try to eat everybody and fuck anything I can.
It was a pretty gory little.
Yeah,
20
no,
minutes.
mostly. To say
No,
that.
mostly. Gotta be gore.
And Adam from what that show was, where they do the truths or fakes, that science show.
Oh, Mythbusters?
Yeah, Adam Savage, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that guy's great. Everybody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And let's hear it for our pirates. Thank you guys. Come on now, we're gonna do a selfie with everybody in the crowd. You can stay right here. We're gonna do a little selfie. You guys stand right back there. Come on in. Yeah, turn this around. Everybody wave. Here we go. Thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Let's hear it for 'em.